Hey, what's up? I'm theZim. This is the Zim video. This is the Zim's Video Journal, episode 157. So check it out. This is where I talk about everything that went down my musical and artistic journey over the last week. Hope you enjoy. And life. I do life stuff too. So I usually go Jam of the Week, what's going down in the WOTS world, WOTS world on the street, then what's going on in the music world, and then what's going on in the life world. That's how I usually play it out. So Jam of the Week this week, I decided to throw up a older song. So I drive Lyft, as a lot of you probably know by now, as my day job, as my money making thing, as my, whatever, money job. And Yard Work in November by Actual Tigers came up, and it reminded me that I love that album, such a good album. I don't know the name of the album, but anyways, so it might be Yard Work in November, whatever. But the song Yard Work in November came up, and I love it. And it reminded me that your favorite band could be a band that you haven't even heard of before, that got buried under, all the other music that comes out all the time. And, Actual Tigers did have some success. They did get released by a major label and things like that. But they didn't break out to same level as Death Cab for Cutie and Modest Mouse and all those guys. Because I think they were around that same time when those bands were breaking out. Actual Tigers was kind of happening. And they changed their name. They were something else before Actual Tigers. But anyways, I don't remember. I don't know all the details. I didn't do any research. I didn't do any wiki looking up on this one. But I love the album. I love the band. I love the sound. I wanted to share it with you in case you never knew about them. So there it is. And then and just a reminder that there's so much music out there there's so much music getting released every single moment of the day, of every day. So there's always plenty of new stuff, but there's also tons of older stuff that you can find and enjoy yourself. And hopefully I'll help you do that as time goes on, because I do like to honor the tradition and what has come and things that maybe were either ahead of their time or just got lost in the shuffle, with most of us musicians don't really know what it takes to create our music as a business. So we may make our albums and stuff, but we don't know how to then do anything with it after we've made our albums. We just kind of do our thing and make our art, and then it'll just be good for us. But there are so many people out there that will never know about it. So I'm hopefully going to help the community get more of the sounds that are being created out to more people in the world. And maybe your band, maybe your friend's band will be somebody's favorite band somewhere else in the world. So that's what's going on with Jam of the Week. So this week in the Word on the Street world, I'm going to start with my Success in Seattle Music as a screenshot. I did part 2 of Success in Seattle Music. This time it's about the incestuous nature of our scene, meaning that there's so many musicians that are shared between bands and stuff. So I ponder that idea. I give my thoughts on what it means because it is so incestuous. So check it out. There's one thing that I remember not mentioning in it that I wanted to mention, so I'll mention it here, and I'll probably mention on part 3 as well. And that is just basically, and this may be another video all by itself, but something I've been talking about with We're on the Street, the scene exists through the lens you view it, that I've noticed is one of the main key things that I've noticed about our scene. There's just so much going on that it's really hard for any one person to know everything that's going on, especially if you're not willing to look for it. And we tend to only look through the lens that we have, our own little lens, whatever that may be. If we exclusively listen to KXP, we'll only hear and be aware of the scene in one section. If we only read The Stranger, we'll only hear and see and think about the scene through one lens. And if we're only DIY musicians, whatever, we'll only see and hear and think about the scene through the lens of that. You know, it's like if we're only listening to rock bands, if we only listen to hip hop, so there's all these lenses that we view the scene through, and so we get our own impression. And my goal is to kind of find the other lenses in a way and try to look through them. However, the bottom line is it's still the lens of theZim. It's still the lens of me. So it is somewhat my opinions and whatnot, my thoughts around the culture of our scene is only viewed from my own lens. I'm trying to make an active effort of finding out more than most people I feel do, but at the same time, I do realize that it's only me. So that's just something I wanted to share, and I want you to consider while watching anything I do and any of the thoughts I have around the scene and what's going on. So consider that. What happened on Word on the Street this week was we had Kingu Cavalier. They were awesome. I really enjoyed the conversation. It was super, not much behind the scenes stuff that I can remember. But the one thing, we started the conversation like at 11:30 p.m. or something and you could, I don't know if you're a regular listener to the podcast, you can hear my voice. I was super lazy because I was really tired. But it worked out great because I like, there's something about being tired that lowers my inhibitions and lowers my anxiety. So I didn't mind it. So it was fine. We had a great conversation. I think it flowed really well. Those guys are rad. I've really enjoyed talking to them. Getting to know Ian McKagan pretty well. He's been on the podcast a couple of times, and I've seen him out in the scene when I'm in Seattle and whatnot pretty regular now because we're just kind of in the same kind of thing. We have the same friends now, and it's pretty cool getting to know, like I mentioned at the very end of the podcast, and this is probably why I mentioned it, but like one of the best, coolest parts for me of the whole process is getting to know more people and essentially becoming friends, and that's my goal, is become friends with more of the scene. And it's happening, and I think they respect what I'm trying to do and help them out, and it's a mutual respect, and I respect their music and that whole thing. So I'm enjoying that. Next week we have Justin Froese, who's a San Diego-based musician now, has spent time in Seattle. That's why I'm allowing it to be published on Word on the Street. You'll get to learn more about it. I'll go into more details about this, but that aside, we'll leave the Justin Froese one for next week. A few weeks ago, I mentioned I wanted to create a San Diego branch of the Word on the Street podcast, and I still do. I still have desires to do that. However, it's become very apparent that I just don't have the time to do it yet. With how much I have to work through Lyft to make money, I was kind of hoping, honestly, that Lyft, I wouldn't have to work as much as I have been lately. I'll talk more about that in a minute, but it's just been crazy how much time I'm spending on the road and not in the studio doing anything. So that's that, and I'm trying to, obviously want to keep Word on the Street as the priority to keep going, and my own music to keep going. I've been publishing songs, as you know, which I'll get to in a moment. Again, a follow-up on the struggle as well. But I just wanted to let you know that there are still plans to do more with the podcast in terms of more, another feed of the podcast for the San Diego conversation, but it's just not happening right now because the priority is definitely the Seattle conversation, which as well. So like, what's going on with the Word on the Street? I've been failing to mention. I feel bad about this because you have to give support to get support kind of idea that I preach a lot of times, and there's two online radio now at this moment, but eventually going to be low power FM radio as well, that I believe Word on the Street is going to be on. So right now, Rainier Valley Radio has an online version of it, and they've been syndicating the Word on the Street podcast a couple times a week. They'll put out the episode that just happened, and so that's really cool. Thanks you a lot, Rainier Valley Radio. I'm not aware if anybody's listening to it. I have no stats on it. I have nobody's said to me, nobody's found the podcast as far as I can tell and said, hey, I heard you on Rainier Valley Radio. So, anything like that. Nothing like that has happened yet. So, whatever. It's awesome that they're trying to help spread the word. Whether or not it's actually working, I don't know. But I'm thankful that they are allowed, they can use the content. And as well, so there's another radio station that's gonna be called is KBFG. It's out of like Ballard and stuff. So Low Power FM, is community based, smaller. So I'm glad, and eventually Rainier Valley Radio will be Low Power FM as well. And I'm hoping that the Word on the Street podcast will also be broadcast over the airwaves. That's my hope, because I think it'll probably get more listeners than online radio. Online radio, I haven't found to be very effective yet, as far as my influence with it. But I don't know, maybe there are people that listen to online radio. Who knows? I don't know. But I'm excited about the Low Power FM aspect of it, because there's a culture and an idea, just like people that would be into Low Power FM will want. It just seems like it'll be more of a lifestyle choice than like online radio is. But so it's pretty interesting to me to see if anything happens in that world. But I'm allowing them to use the content, because it is with Low Power FM you have to have certain amount of local content on your station to be allowed to be a radio station and get funding and all that stuff and help and whatever. I don't know a lot about it, but I know a little. And so I put it out there, but these two stations actually came to me. But I put it out to the community of Low Power FM in Seattle, saying, hey, I have content, you can use it if you want. At this point, because I'm so busy, I'm not curating the content at all. I'm just allowing them access to it, and if they want to curate it and take out all the swear words and edit it down to the size they need for their programming, it's all on them to do. And I don't know, I feel a little bit bad about that, but I just don't have the time to keep up with. I need to keep up and then re-edit at all my shows to fit their formats. So that's just where I'm at. So look out for those things. Check out Rainier Valley Radio if you are into the online thing. Check it out. I'll definitely link it up. And then KBFG, I'm not sure where we stand with that, if they're actually going to use it or if it was just a conversation. So look out for that. Hopefully they will use it, because I don't know, I hope they do. But anyways, that's what's going on there. The music world, obviously last week I dropped The Struggle, a new song I wrote and recorded, mixed, mastered, published, did the video for it, did everything all the way through. So I'm pretty excited about it. It's about 160 views right now on YouTube, and that's based on No Snow's view count. That's pretty much where it starts plateaus. Because something I failed to mention last week when I was talking about it was that my strategy around getting the word out around it is I email every single person I think of that might actually consider watching it. I don't email, so I have like almost 5,000 friends on Facebook, and that's where I do most of it through. This one I didn't really share with my family because of how much like cussing and swear words I put in it, and just kind of like I just didn't feel like it was something that my family would appreciate in a way. So I don't know. They find it great. If not, whatever. But but I only shared it with like music friends. And I only pretty much shared it through Facebook. And I would just email every single person I went through my phone messenger and just scrolled down every single contact I have. And every time I came up to somebody that I thought might actually give it a moment to watch, I sent them an email and said, I just made this, check it out if you have time. So, and I've gotten 160 views out of it so far, and well, hopefully it'll keep growing. Couple reshares by my friend Dallin and Silas, actually. They were on the podcast a few weeks ago. They both reshared it, so that was awesome. Thanks guys for doing that. That was the only shares I know of. If anybody else shared it without tagging me or didn't share it off of my Facebook page, I wouldn't see it. They just shared the link themselves. But I'm excited about it. I got a whole bunch of songs in my brain, basically. I have 4 songs out that other people are working on. I have more song ideas that I'm ready to just put onto, in the computer in terms of write. So I'm excited about that. So just keep on flowing, because, this whole idea, at least right now, I don't believe in writer's block or things like that, because there's too much inspiration. What I've been finding, just walking down the street, just what's going on in the world, there's so much inspiration in the world. But also just when I listen to music, there's just so much inspiration just like listening, like, oh, that's a cool sound, or that's a cool idea, or that's a cool tempo, or that's a cool, like, all these different ideas. I'm just like, I'm going to write something based around that idea I just heard, or whatever, it's like, it's just, there's too many ideas to have writer's block. So consider it if you're ever struggling to come up with an idea. But then again, I very much am eclectic with my, like, I'm willing to go from hip hop to singer songwriter to rock to whatever, whereas some people write within a much narrower spectrum than I do. So that's something to consider too. I'll just write. I have a broader palette to work with in a lot of ways. Not only music, not only what I can play as instrument wise, but also what I'm willing to create style wise as well. So, anyways, so I'll be in Seattle June 7th, so about a little over a week away, 7th through the 16th. I'm pretty excited for it. It's going to be kind of a vacation for me, a work vacation, because I'm going to do lots of resting. Basically, I have 13, so here's my, by the numbers kind of. I get in, I have 13 podcasts I have on the schedule. I'm pretty much guaranteed at least one or two of them are going to cancel. But hopefully they don't, and I might pick up a few more by the time it comes around. So I'm excited about that. 13 podcasts will be recorded. I have 4 shows I'm going to go see. I'll name them here. The first one at Numos is Season of Strangers, and Eric Blood are playing, and I'm really excited about that. I'm going to go see that at Numos on the 9th. Substation is hosting Stereo Creeps, Moss Generator, and You're the Cobra, I believe. Oh, I hope I said that right. I don't know. I don't remember. Sorry if I got that wrong. But anyways, Stereo Creeps for sure. I haven't seen them play yet, so I want to see them. The 10th at High Dive is the 10 Miles Wide tour kickoff with 3 other amazing bands. So excited to see that. And then on the 15th is Heather Thomas's album release show or EP release show. Excited about that. So those are and that's at the Tractor Tavern. So those are the 4 shows I'm going to go see. And then on June 11th, I am going to play a show at the High Dive with Miss C and Morning Glory Revival. So check it out. Pretty excited about that. I just start practicing more again, get ready for it. So that's what's going on in the music world, in the podcast world. In the life world, I did another lift video. I moved the date of when I make and publish my lift videos. They happen I make them on Tuesday or Wednesday now because I want to be able to put the full breakdown of what I made the previous week, and it doesn't come out till Tuesday. So that's that. I am rocking the 4.9. I've got up to a 4.99 star rating again, which is fairly difficult to do because you get rated, you get a chance to get 5-star ratings for your last 100 rides, and then they tally that and give every day that you drive the next day they give you an email that says your driver summary for that day and what your star rating is at that point. And I made it back up to a 4.99, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. And the Lyft driving experience, I Sunday finally had another good day, but I'll talk more about that on my next Lyft video, so check it out. Alright, that's it for this week. If you want to buy an Alexander Thomas clutch, let's use, what should we use? Let's use 13 pods. 13 pods, 35 for 35% off. AlexanderThomas.etsy.com. Do it up. I'll catch you next week. Hope I didn't miss anything because I'm about to run out of time. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. Anyways, peace out.